Shalom, Shalom, Israel. We back out here on the Sabbath, and we're going to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, which the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, which the world calls Jesus Christ, right? And we out here on the highways and byways, like the Most High said, get around, right? And he said to come and teach his people, so we teaching this true word to the people, because if we not doing it, who else going to do it, right? Not many people know about this truth, so we getting it out as much and as far as we can, and we going farther and farther, Most High willing, right? Go ahead, read that.
This is Luke 14 and verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
Right, so we got to come out on the highways and hedges and compel the Most High's people to come in, right? Because the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans are the children of God, straight out of the curses out of Deuteronomy, right? Go to Leviticus 19 and verse 17, right? Because this word wasn't given to everybody. This was only given to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans. We are God's people, right? We're the children of the Most High God.
This is Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise suffer, Salakia. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Right, so we got to come out here and show the people their transgressions and show them that they're going off, because a lot of people don't know that the Most High is coming back. And when he come back, he's not coming back to give hugs and kisses. He's coming back to destroy the people that's not keeping his commandments, and he's coming back to destroy the other nation. Go to Matthew 10 and 34. Right, he's not coming back to send presents. Right, he's not coming back to sit down and drink a cup of coffee with you. He's not doing that. He's coming down here to destroy his children that are being disobedient in the other nations. He's not playing. The Most High, at first he came down here and he was being nice and genuine. Right, but the second time he's coming back for vengeance and wrath.
This is Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
This is written in red, so this is Yahweh Shai speaking. This is Yahweh Shai speaking himself. Read that one more time.
Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
Right, so he said, think not that I am coming to send peace on earth. But what?
I came not to send peace, but a sword.
So he's coming back with destruction, right?
Not for us. Not for us. Not for us.
Right.
For them. And you know who them is.
Go to,
so I know what time it is.
Go to Romans 6 and verse 23. Right? Because if you're following the commandments of the Most High God, you're not going to be destroyed. But if you're not following the commandments, you're going to be destroyed.
You know what they say? They already been judged. We ain't been judged. We got to go for judgment. They already been judged.
This is Romans chapter 6 and verse 23. For the wages of sin is death.
Right? So the wages of sin is death. So if you're not keeping the commandments, death is coming for you, and don't think anything. Listen. Read that one more time. Read that one.
This is Romans 6 and verse 23. For the wages of sin is death.
Right? So the wages of sin is death, man. If you sinning and doing whatever the hell you want, you're not keeping the Sabbath day, death is coming for you. Right? You might not die on that specific Sabbath day. You might not die this Sunday. You might not die on Monday. But when the Most High comes back with that wrath and that sword, you're going to die. You're going to perish. He's not coming back with hugs and kisses, Israel. He's coming back to destroy the people that's not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
You had any questions, brother?
No, I do not. I just want to listen to you, brother.
Do you know your nationality out of the Bible? Do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
So do you know your biblical nationality? Go to 2 Peter 2
My
and
name is James.
What you say, brother?
My name is James.
No, I'm asking you. I said, do you know your biblical nationality, your God-given nationality? All right, you want to listen real quick, or you got to go somewhere? All right.
2 Peter what?
2 Peter 2 and verse 9. Because the Most High God out of the Bible, he actually chose a specific group of people, right? And his people will be the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And if you stay around long enough, Slaki, we'll show you the curses, and we'll show you that you're God's people and none else.
You meant one first
Yeah.
This is 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation.
Right? So he said he chose a holy nation. Read that one more time.
But ye are a chosen chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation.
Right? So he's calling a certain nation holy. So obviously there's a specific nationality of people that's holy to him. Go to well, you wanted to guess on it?
I wanted to read the rest of it.
All right, go ahead.
A peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into this marvelous light.
Right? So if you learn your biblical nationality and you follow the commandments according to God, he's bringing you out of that darkness and he's bringing you into that light. Go to the curses in Deuteronomy. So now we're going to show you how you will be an Israelite according to the curses. Because, like, you see how the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you see how we live out here. We in poverty right now. We're at a desolate state. Right. And we're below the so-called white man. The white man is oppressing us, and we can't really do nothing about it unless we come back to the Most High God.
That's right.
And we're in these curses because we didn't follow the commandments back in the old times, right? Because this hasn't just been happening now. Even back in the time, during the time of Moses, you know Moses, we wasn't following the commandments. So read that. 15. Yeah.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Brother, you know what hearken means? Hearken means to listen. So read that one more time for the brother.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right, so he said all these curses, if we don't, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't follow the commandment, we're going to be in these curses that we are in today, right? So go to 16.
16.
All right, brother, you will be an Israelite according to the Bible. You're not a so-called black or whatever you want to call yourself. Right?
This is verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
And if you look around, we cursed in the cities and the field. We're cursed in the cities and the field. Right? As you can see, our brothers, this is where we live, and it don't look too pretty. And a lot of our brothers is out on the streets or struggling to keep a house or an apartment, struggling to keep a job, right? It's hard out here for the brothers. It's
On
not,
drugs.
Right, it's not easy out here for Israel. And we got to come back to the Most High, because the only help we're going to get is coming back to the Most High. Yahweh Bahashem HaMashiach Yahushua.
That's right.
Go back. Let's go to Jeremiah 17:4. You had any questions? Do you see yourself on this board right here? Which one are you? See, some brothers is not. But anyway, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine inheritance, Salakia, from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will, Salakia, and I will curse thee to serve thine enemies.
Right, and who's more cursed than the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? What nation of people don't know who they are and know their true heritage? Because we think that we come from Africa or we come from here or there because the so-called white man tells us that, but we don't know our true heritage. A lot of us follow the Quran. Some of us think we're Muslims. Some of us think trying to be like the so-called white man. We don't know who we are and we're lost. There's nobody more lost than the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read that one more time.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
Right, and the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, everybody that's on that board, we don't follow our true heritage. We think that we do because the so-called white man told us that this is how we should live, we should be like this, we should be like that, but that's not our God-given nationality, and that's not our God-given heritage.
That's right.
We actually have a heritage straight out of the Bible. The Bible is real history. These are not fables or stories. There's real-life people in here like Alexander the Great, the king of Assyria. There's real people in here. This is not a fable or story. This is real life.
And even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Go to Hosea 13:9. And our enemies is clearly the so-called white man. They oppress us every day. We're getting shot down every day by these people. They pull us over for anything, right? We could kill a dog, or we can be on our own homes and get shot now. That's how bad it is. That's how cursed we are out here, and it's because we're not following the commandments and we're not going back to the Most High God.
This is Hosea chapter 13 and verse 9. O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself, but in me is thine help.
Right, and we destroyed ourselves because we don't follow the commandments. Look at all the things that happened to us. Slavery, right? this happened to the so-called blacks. The so-called Hispanics was murdered and actually attacked by Spaniard dogs, right, and burnt alive, right, and we were used in rituals. We're cursed out here, and we destroyed. These things only happening to us because we're not following the commandments. Read that one more time.
O Israel, thou hast destroyed thyself, but in me is thine help.
So the only help you getting is by the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua.
That's right.
Which means God coming in the name of His Son Jesus Christ, so-called Jesus Christ, right? So you're not getting help. Listen, when you in a time of calamity, you're not gonna be able to call the police and be like, "Can you help me?" They're gonna look at you and be like, "Well, listen. We've been dealing with you wickedly this whole time. Why would we help you now?" What has the government done for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? What have the police done for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? What have they ever done to us or for us besides oppress us and kill us and murder us in the street and put us in poverty and keep us in poverty, right? Because the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we actually got to pay higher taxes than the richer white man. That don't make sense. They got more money, so why aren't they paying more taxes? Why us? We getting paid minimum wage. We getting $8, $9 an hour, $10 an hour, and we gotta pay them taxes when they making millions and millions of dollars and they not paying that much taxes. We're cursed out here, and if you don't realize that, then I don't know what to tell you, right? And the only way you coming back and getting this help is coming back to the Most High. You got a precept?
I'll find it.
Right. So go to Isaiah 1 and verse 3.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 2. Here, Salakia. This is Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
Right, so the ox knows his owner, which is an animal, and the ass, which is a donkey, knows his crib and where he lives at.
But Israel doeth not know. My people doeth not consider.
Right, and we don't know who we are, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We don't know our true identity. We have all these different customs that we follow that aren't our own. Because the so-called white man has oppressed us and forced these customs on us, so that's why we follow after their traditions like Christmas, right? Christmas, Thanksgiving, right? Those are all wicked days. Those are pagan holidays. You don't find those holidays nowhere in the Bible, right? Christmas is actually a wicked holiday. Go to Jeremiah 10 and 2. Right, and you know when you go to church, they celebrate Christmas, but straight in the scriptures it says Christmas is wicked and is a pagan holiday. So come on, man.
Come on, y'all eat. You want to eat? Come eat.
Jeremiah verse 10 and chapter 10 and verse 2. Thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Right, and the heathens will be the oppressors, the so-called white man, the so-called Chinese man, the Indian man, the African man, right? Because they had us in captivity. They are the Egyptians that had the children of Israel in captivity, right? Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right, and the heathens, they can't get this word for nothing. You can drop scripture on scripture, fact on fact, history on history, and they just won't get it. They can't get it. This is a stumbling block unto the so-called white man and the African man and the Chinese man and Indian man and etc. This is a stumbling block unto them. They will not be able to get this. Go ahead.
For the customs of the people are vain.
He said the customs of the people are vain. Let's see what a custom he's talking about right here.
One cutteth the tree out of the forest,
right?
The work of the hands of the workmen with an axe,
right?
They deck it with silver and with gold.
Right, that's Christmas. That's Christmas straight out the Bible for you. And he said this a custom is vain. So why, if we feel like we believe in God, why are we following Christmas? Because we're misled, and these churches are misleading us because Christianity came from the so-called white man during slavery, and they forced certain things on us, and they forced us to believe in the so-called white Messiah right there. That's why when you go to church and you learn it from the pastor, they're telling you, you know, you can follow Christmas, you can follow Halloween, Thanksgiving, Easter. Those are all pagan holidays.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So continue.
The work of Salakia, they deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
Right, stop there. And that's Christmas straight out the Bible. You wouldn't even think that that's in the Bible, but it's right there for you. It's right there. So we gotta stop following the heathens. Go to Daniel. Slaki. Bear with me. Go to Jeremiah 4 and verse 22. Actually, go to Deuteronomy 9 and 24. Right, and we got, I'm gonna hold the other one. And the only way, like I said earlier, Israel, is the only way we get help is if we come back to the Most High God. Right, like the prophecy straight out of the Bible, they're being shown in our face to this day. Right, as we live in right now, there's prophecies being fulfilled all over the world, like earthquakes, the wildfires, right? The riots around the world, right? The weather is crazy. It's like what, 40-some degrees right now. Next week it's gonna be 63. Come on now. The weather's not stable no more. The days are going by quicker. The years are going by quicker. It's the last days, man.
That's
and
right.
You gotta deal with it. Like the wars are brewing up. Racist wars are being brewed up. Like, come on, man. It's here for you. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 4 and verse 22.
Nah, 9 and 24. 9 and 24? Yeah.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 9 and verse 24. Ye have been rebellious against the Lord from the day that I knew you.
Right? Even from the days of Moses, we've been rebellious, and even Moses called us stiff-necked. He said we've been stiff-necked since the day he met us. The Most High actually called upon Moses and sent him to Egypt to bring us out of our captivity. He showed forth signs and marvelous signs straight out of heaven, and the people still ain't get it. They still wanted to follow after the Egyptians that were oppressing them. They still, even in the time of the Babylonians, we still followed after their customs. We start having sex and mating with the heathen nations. Even King Solomon went off and followed after the other nations. So we've been stiff-necked since the beginning. Go ahead.
This is verse 25. Thus I fell down before the Lord 40 days and 40 nights.
Now, Slaki.
Okay, I got a precept though.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, This is Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. And now Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Verse 13. To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes which I command thee this day for thy good.
Right, so this is the only good you're gonna get, right? Following these commandments, right? So go to Revelations 22 and 14. The only way you get into the kingdom is following the commandments. The only way you can claim that you know God is following the commandments. You can't say you know God and his only begotten Son if you're not following his commandments. How do you know him if you don't know his ways? That don't make sense. Right?
This is Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Right? He said, blessed are they that do his commandments. So if you're not doing the commandments, you're not blessed. It's a clear cut right there. It don't get any easier than that. It don't get any more blatant than that. It's right there for you.
That they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city.
Right, continue.
For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers.
So, Slaki. So if you outside of these commandments and following these commandments, you are a dog. Come on, read that again. He just said it. It's not my words. He said you're like a dog.
For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers,
right,
and murderers,
right,
and idolaters,
right,
and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Right, and if you serving so-called Jesus Christ, you're an idolater. If you'd rather smoke weed than to keep the Sabbath day, you're an idolater. If you'd rather go drink wine than to go serve the Most High, you are an idolater. You're serving that drink or that materialistic thing more than you serving the Most High God. And all actuality, listen, these things are gonna be gone. These physical things, like everything you see up here, the clothing we got on, is gonna be gone. So why are you serving these materialistic things when the Most High, which is everlasting, is here, right here for you, and he is your help? Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children.
Right? Sottish means stupid. It's straight out the Bible, man. These are not our own words. We're not gonna come out here with a Bible and speak of our own words. The Most High said to speak of the oracles of the Most High, and that's what we do.
and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
And we're very wise to do evil, right? We'll plot on stealing our brother's wives, right? Fornicating with all these women, right? We'll plot on stealing from another brother,
Selling
right?
a brick.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And not following the Sabbath. We'll actually sit there on a Wednesday and plan, it's the Sabbath coming, but I'm about to go out and smoke. I'm about to go to the bowling alley. I'm about to have a good time.
Go to party.
Right, go party. The strip club, right? Come on now. You literally throwing your hard-earned money on strippers, on whores, on hoes? Come on, man. You gotta be a fool.
So-called entertainment. So-called.
Right, and that's the entertainment of the heathens. That all these things come by the Romans, man. These Romans are wicked and evil. These Romans love to do wicked. They are estranged, and they straight out of the womb they come out wicked. And we're gonna get on them soon. Go ahead.
Hold on. So like
Just start at the beginning. Go ahead.
This is verse 22. I'm gonna read it from the top. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They
Right,
are sadist.
Stop there, right? And we don't know the Most High. We foolish, because listen, we will try to bring brothers, like, we'll call brothers and like, yo, brother, you want to know your nationality, etc., etc. They'll be like, well, I'm black. And then when you say otherwise, nah, I'm black. Chill, bro. I'm not Israelite. I'm not following your Muslim custom. This is not Muslim, because we got fringes on and head wraps. This is not Muslim. We are the opposite of Muslims.
The
The
Quran
Muslims-
is toilet paper.
right, and the Muslims want to be like us. 'Cause
That's true. It's
Quran
true.
is toilet
It's
paper.
true.
It's a false
It's
doctrine.
true.
Come on, hold on.
It's true,
Hold on,
though.
brother. Hold on, brother. If you believe in the Quran, come deal with it then. We got a book
But the
on the
Quran-
Quran right here.
Qu-
What I'm saying. I ain't got nothing to do with the Quran. I'm talking about what the Bible says. Thou shalt not judge unless ye want to be
We're gonna show you what he's talking about.
judged. I'm saying, the Bible-
All right, brother.
But the Quran the Quran came after the Bible. After.
The word Quran means to recite, and it's reciting out of the Bible. The first half of the Quran is the
Go
Old
to
Testament.
John. No,
Yes,
it's not.
but
Go to
I'm
John
saying
chapter 24.
me. I follow.
dealing with a biblical scholar.
No, but I'm saying I follow. Hold up.
Keep it real.
I follow.
I'm saying, I would have said that to a Muslim brother. He would have said that the
Hey,
Bible was talking
hey, you know what?
about the same thing.
I'm saying I follow Islam,
Judge, man. You want to get your own word. You hold the Bible when you judging another man.
but
Which
I'm,
one?
but
This is John chapter 7 and verse what?
I'm saying like me.
This is John chapter 7 and verse.
Hold on, we're gonna let him talk.
That's the New Testament. That's the white man's version of the Bible.
Come on, man. You don't know what's going on. You don't know
know
what's
what
going
to do.
on.
This
is
Wait.
John.
Is the Quran
I
valid?
don't follow the Quran.
What?
I'm not religious at all.
So why are you up here?
I'm just holy. I'm just
How are you
I just
holy,
believe in
brother?
God, period. It's
How are
only
you
one
holy?
God. It's only one God.
Who is the one God?
You know what I'm saying? Whoever you want him to be. But it's not Jesus.
Come on, man. We
It's
know
not
that.
Jesus,
We
that's
know
for
that. The
sure.
real and only God is Yahweh Shai and Yahweh.
That's your
So,
belief.
come on, man. We about to cut up the Quran real quick, because the Quran is garbage. The Quran is a recitation of the Bible.
We know.
How is the Bible? How is the Quran? How is the Quran the Old Testament if the Quran is copied and
The first
acted?
half of the Quran is Old Testament.
All right, brother.
As far as I'm concerned, the Old Testament is the only truth in the Bible. The New Testament was put there to enslave us. You know what I'm saying?
You said
Turn
what
the
was-
other cheek, obey thy master, shit like that. Come on, man.
You said
Obey
what's
your
in the
master.
Bible?
The New Testament. Turn
What's
the other
in the-
cheek, obey thy master, shit like
Prove
that.
that.
It's in the Bible.
Go to Thessalonians 5 and
It's in the
21.
Bible. It's not in there. Turn the other cheek.
Come on.
It's not
But let
in
me-
the Bible.
It doesn't
Let me
say,
read
sir.
this.
Come on, man. You don't know what's going on.
This is John chapter 7 verse 24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
So if you following fake doctrines and false philosophies, we gonna judge you on that, because that's straight out of the Bible. We just read that out the Bible, and you probably don't want to deal with that. Go ahead.
What you want?
What? What? You're not being a man. You're talking in the distance. We're not niggas either. We're not niggas either. You listening? You talking about not following the pressure, but you calling yourself a nigga, and you calling us niggas. We look just like. We're not niggas out here. We're not niggas. We're Israelites. We're not niggas out here.
Because the ignorance is
Go to first Cor-
No, he didn't say you was a nigga.
The ignorance that just came out of your mouth
Go to
portrays a
First
nigga, man.
Corinthians
A
12.
nigga
You just
means
called
a
me a
person.
nigga.
Because that
just
was
called me a
ignorant.
nigga.
What you said was ignorant.
You just
This,
called me a nigga.
this is 1
Come on
Corinthians
now.
chapter 2 and verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit of Yahweh.
So a natural man, a man that's in the world, just won't get this truth. You can bring it out, and they just not gonna get it. The Most High said in Thessalonians 5:21, prove all things. You have no book on your Quran. You have no Bible. You can't prove nothing. You just talking with your own heart and your own mind.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him.
And this is foolishness unto that man. He's not gonna get it because he's not trying to deal with the Bible. He believes in one God, but he don't know who that one God is. How ignorant is that?
That's a mystery God.
Come on now. What's more ignorant than that? You don't know what God you serving. You don't even know the name of your God.
That's believing in a mystery
You
God.
don't even have a doctrine, brother. Come on now.
And
Go to
I
God.
am Jesus fucking Christ.
For they are foolishness unto him.
Go.
Neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned.
Yo, that's ignorant. That's
See, in
disrespectful.
Israel,
You can't disrespect
we
people.
among our own brothers, and you see
What I was doing
the
was trying to, I
discord
wasn't
that's
trying to be
happening, man. That's
disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? What he just did was disrespectful. I would never do that.
We know that, brother.
Disrespect your foundation.
All right,
you know
come
what I
on
mean?
now. Like,
Everybody-
why we hate our own people?
Alright, I don't
Right?
mean to call myself
Come on now.
But I'm an oppression too. I make me mad.
And
you can't call yourself
Yeah,
Jesus
you can't
though,
call
brother.
yourself Jesus, no.
That's a sin.
And it's the curses that's in the
But
book
you
of
know, I know
Deuteronomy.
that. I know that. So it's not wrong. I know that.
Come on now. Well, brother, you gotta repent. Go to Jeremiah 17 and 1.
Come.
Because you see, brothers is talking about and
It's
scoffing
gay.
about the word, but you can't prove it. When you can listen, if you could come up here and prove us wrong with actual facts, we'll shut up, we'll pack up and leave right now. We will never come back. You will never see us out here ever
I
again.
got a nephew write this in the ISUPK,
Yeah.
and he showed me I forget where it is. It's in Old Testament where I think Moses was up in the mountains. We're the one that started fried chicken. Fried chicken. We've been doing black people, we've been cooking fried chicken since the beginning of time.
Let's get back to the scripture.
That's why we like fried chicken so much, man. It's just something with
This
us.
is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things.
So if you coming out here and you don't got no books, no notes, no scripture, no nothing, that's coming out of your heart, and the heart is deceitful above all things.
The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
Right? And the heart is desperately wicked. Because we don't go to church, brother. We don't believe in the church system. The church system is teaching us to stay in oppression, to keep us in oppression.
Yeah, you can worship the Most High without even going into a building.
Right.
We are the church, brother.
Go to Acts 7.
You are a church. Yeah.
Go to Acts 7.
Your body is the church.
That's right.
No, go to Acts 7 and 48. We're gonna show you something real quick about the church.
Nah, I read the Bible. I read the Bible. I go to
I
church every
believe you,
Sunday.
brother.
Go to church every Sunday.
Well, the church is wicked.
Talk about the same thing. But when I'm just asking a question.
All right, well, we're gonna show you something real quick. We still gonna bring it out. Sorry.